Hi everyone. Today, there's a part in this novel that I just couldn't stop reading once I started. It's so exciting. The female protagonist Zoey and the male protagonist Warner are trying hard to nurture their love in a small town. But Warner's mother secretly trips Zoey up. From sabotaging her car to intimidating her, with constant tactics. When Zoe's mother finds out, she instantly becomes a she-tiger and directly challenges Warner's mother, creating a highly tense situation. The family conflicts between humans and werewolves are fully escalated in the face of love. Can the two of them even manage to have a proper relationship? Next, they'll take you deeper into this novel to analyze this heart-wrenching yet thrilling plot. Part 78 Warner, of course. My family followed me. Zoey is in my arms. Her words a balm to my soul. But my mother's sharp tone cuts through the moment. I turn, my jaw clenching as I glare over my shoulder. Rebecca Jameson stands at the alley's entrance, her posture rigid with disapproval. My uncle, ever the peacemaker, places a calming hand on her shoulder, but she shrugs it off with a quick, irritated motion. Her eyes, so like mine, burn with barely contained fury. Roderick approaches with measured steps, his face a mask of calm. As pack leader, HES clearly assessing whether to step in. His gaze flicks between our mother and me, weighing the potential fallout of this family drama. Further back, Tanya and eyes a-cover uncertainly. My sister's thumb finds its way to her mouth, her nail bearing the brunt of her anxiety. Isaac, on the other hand, mirrors Roderick's stoic demeanor, arms crossed and face impassive. It's moments like these when I see how different we are. Despite our shared blood, this is between Zoey and me, wed like a moment alone. I say, striving for a calm I don't feel, so you can ride off to Denver together. My mother's words drip with disdain. What? Zoe's question pulls my attention back to her, ignoring my mother's unwelcome intrusion. I focus on Zoey, on the future that suddenly seems possible. She told me she loves me, and I want to savor every syllable of those precious words. I shouldn't have asked you to stay here. Zoey flinches, but I keep my arms firmly around her waist, anchoring her to me. What I mean is, your life is back in Denver. Your family and friends, your business opportunities. It was selfish of me to ask you to give all that up. Warner, I'm coming with you. The words tumble out. A promise and a plea rolled into one. I need her to understand that I'd follow her to the ends of the earth if she asked. What about your pack? Her eyes dart to my family before returning to mine. They aren't the only wolves in the world. She's shaking her head. And I want to cup her face in my hands, to still her doubts. I want to see her smile, to hear her plans for our life together in the city. I don't want you to go to Denver. Now it's my turn to flinch. But Zoey holds me close, her grip tightening. I want us to stay in Pine Falls, she says. At least for now. I want us to stay here. Together. Joy swells in my chest, threatening to burst forth. I'm about to pull her in for another kiss when my mother's snarl pierces the air, shattering my elation. Once again, reality intrudes on our moment of happiness. Damn it. Vampire Deception by Drake Mason and E.Y. Drake. It's an undocumented changeling, and first cocoons at a low-level rig. You're the pack leader. She's an outsider. Do something. Zoe's head jerks to the side as if my mother's words were a blow. My wolf bristles in defense, and I turn to examine my brother. Will he try to step between us? Does he feel the same as our mother? The man has his arms crossed, his eyes locked on Zoey and me. HES silent at first, and everyone waits for him to speak. Then Roderick shrugs. She doesn't look like an outsider. Mom's mouth hangs open before she snaps it shut and lets out another menacing growl. Rebecca Jameson is not the most bubbly woman on a normal day, but this level of anger worries me. I get the sense that something deeper is going on. I'm not aware of Mom. I know you want what's best for me, and you don't think this is it. But I'm telling you, Zoey is all I want. I'll only be happy if I'm where she is. If we're together. My passionate words don't sway her. She continues to glare at the woman in my arms. Until she leaves you. Rebecca. A new voice enters the fray. Somehow both commanding and apologetic. Please stop putting my sins on my daughter's head. If you want to be mad at someone, be mad at me. The gentle words come from the mouth of the alley, and we all turn in, sync. Standing under the light of a street lamp is a beautiful woman. Her hair hangs in a golden braid over her shoulder, and there's an impressiveness to her that's only amplified by her height. I'm guessing that she's close to 6 feet. Selena. Uncle Mason whispers the name, and I realize who I'm looking at. Zoe's mother. The gorgeous woman smiles, but the expression is regretful. Mason. Been a long time. Could have been longer, and we all would have benefited. My mom snaps. Selena Gunner looks back at my mother, taking in the defensiveness of her posture. I know you don't want me here, but this isn't about me. It's about our children. Believe me, I didn't expect something like this to happen, but it did. And I swear, Zoe is a more reliable person than I ever was. Am I missing something? I feel like I have half the story. Zoe asks as her gaze jumps around the group, taking in Mason's grimace, Roderick's scrutiny, Tanya's lost look, Isaac's confusion, Rebecca's disdain, before finally landing back on me. Drama from another decade. I mutter, suddenly very annoyed that all of this is being bickered over when I'm trying to declare my love. Not our problem. I mean, for what it's worth, Zoe leans to the side, meeting my mother's glare head on I love your son. And I want to be with him. You don't deserve him. My mother's declaration tears from her. And I notice her eyes are half black with anger. He fixes your car. He pulls you from trees. He nurses your wounds. And how do you pay him back? By threatening to leave town. Like mother, like daughter. But I won't let you play your games with my son. She takes a menacing step toward us, as if she plans on ripping Zoe from my arms. Roderick and Mason tense, and I shift my body between my love and my mother. Then something in her words registers in my mind. How did you know Zoe was hiding in a tree? The color leaves my mom's cheeks, hinting that my instinct is correct. What felt like a slap to the face now feels like a hand around my throat. The truth chokes me. You mentioned it. Mom waves my words away, keeping her glare trained on the woman I love. But now, it seems her glowering is an attempt to keep from meeting my eyes. No, I speak slowly around the despair and anger that clogs my chest. I didn't. In fact, I hadn't said much to my mom about Zoe at all. Every time I brought her up, I noticed the tight lines get deeper at the corner of my mom's eyes. A subtle hint that she was unhappy, so it cut my story short. Talk to Roderick or Courtney instead. But I thought she just didn't like the idea of me dating Zoe because human, werewolf relationships can be tricky. But it was more than that. I'm sure you did. You just forgot. Her continued denial snuffs out my sadness and leaves behind rage. I did not. It was you. All of the shit that Zoe's been dealing with was you. Lost it. Rebecca Jameson, who taught me everything I know about cars, who has unlimited supplies for cutting wood, who can turn into a wolf, crosses her arms over her chest defensively. You disconnected the truck's battery and messed with its gas gauge. Used your wolf to scare Zoe in the woods. I want my mom to meet my eyes, but she won't. My mind is filled with the memory of Zoe soaking wet, shaking with cold, rambling about a large animal that had her climbing a tree for safety. It's almost as bad as Zoe sitting in the emergency care unit, bleeding and broken. And no matter how much I might want to step into my mother's space and force her to acknowledge me, I'm more worried about keeping my arms around Zoe, keeping her safe. From my family. You sabotaged the treehouse, why? Were you trying to break her neck? The words rasp and crack as I ask them, and I have to bury my nose in Zoe's hair. Breathe a deep inhale of her scent to remind me that she's here. Not unmarked, but she's alive. No thanks to Rebecca Jameson. That's not. Are you fucking kidding me? am sure a werewolf just spoke. The words menacing and infused with a growl. But then I realized the exclamation came from Zoey and Warner, who stalks toward us. Her eyes locked on my mom. Part 79's OE earlier I had the calm version of my mother. The one that smiles sweetly and hands out wisdom as if she has daily phone conversations with the Dalai Lama. This is another one of her sides. The mama bear. But this mama bear looks like someone shook a hornet's nest and shoved it up her ass. Rage of proportions I've never witnessed burn out of her eyes. Mom lunges for Rebecca, stopped only by Warner's uncle, who steps forward just in time to wrap his arms around torso. You fucking self-serving asshole. You think you have the right to torment my daughter. Mom, when her yelling cuts me off. I'm not too mad about it. I have no idea what I would have said. This exchange may have started with me, but it has the dark undertones of history weaving through it. Just because I hurt your feelings, you think that gives you the go-ahead to hurt her. Without the treehouse shed have no cell service. One more reason to leave. I was trying to hurt her. Rebecca defends herself, even as she avoids meeting my mother's furious gaze. You could have killed her. She shrieks. You almost did. My girl, she chokes. On rage or tears. I can't tell. My baby girl. Could have died because you wolves can never let shit go. Rebecca turns her back, shoulders hunched, as if my mother's enraged comments are physical blows. Taking a brief mental step back from the situation, I find it fascinating how, even though we're surrounded by mythical monsters, people who can literally turn into wild beasts, my mom is still the most frightening player in this game. I also need to separate myself for a moment because the knowledge that Warner's mom has been secretly harassing me is almost too much to take in. It's not like I haven't interacted with the woman over the past few weeks. Her shop is one of my favorites. Every time I was a customer, she treated me with an efficient manner that never seemed out of the ordinary. Maybe it was naive, but I thought she might even like me a little bit. Turns out the opposite is true. Rebecca Jameson hates me. Why? The question comes out much louder than I planned, but probably as loud as necessary. When my mother is on the warpath, there's not a lot that can get her to pause, but she quiets momentarily at my ragged voice. Because your family doesn't get to hurt people without consequences. Rebecca regains some of her righteous rage as she shoots a glare my way. You don't get to waltz back into this town as if your family didn't try to tear it apart. First mini sets humans against wolves, making our existence a struggle. Then Selena pretends to love Mason Rebecca as voice cracks, and she lets out a growl as if mad at her own sign of weakness before continuing. She strains him along and then leaves without a word. That's not how it happened. Rebecca. Mason speaks in a deep, soothing tone, but Warner's mom doesn't let it calm her. Yes, it is. I was there the night you asked her to be your mate. I saw her run away, and I've watched that eat away at you since then. Rebecca widens her stance, ready to fight. I've seen what Gunner women do to the men that try to love them, and I will not let my son be a casualty. You're insane. My mom hisses. You think turning down your brother, in law's proposal 3 decades ago gives you the right to attack my daughter. I can't believe I was trying to apologize to you. My mom's brief hiatus from screeching has come to an end. She struggles against Mason's restraining hold, and I pity the man. Sounds like he used to love her, and now he only gets to hold her to keep from hurting someone. Not that I think he should get to hold my mom in a loving embrace. I'm 100% team dad all the way, but that doesn't mean I don't feel for the broken-hearted werewolf. They were scare tactics. It's not like I was trying to hurt her. Rebecca meets my mother's eyes this time. Defiance clear in her posture. You could have killed her. You almost did. Mom is wild to the point that I consider if we might have some wolf in our veins. She's alive. It doesn't matter. You selfish bitch. Shit. This is not a good indication of future thanks, Vegs. You almost killed my daughter. Mace and Jameson is fully carrying my mother now as she tries to scale him to get at Warner's mom. In challenge. The word roars so loud, I bet half of Pine Falls heard it. And from the triumphant, slightly scary grin my mom wears, I think she somehow upped the stakes of this confrontation. Every wolf, including the stoic Roderick, wears a wide-eyed expression. Tanya even let out a strangled gasp and now clutches her twin's arm so tight her knuckles stain white. Clearly, I'm the only one who doesn't know what's coming next. Zoey Warner. Zoe glances up at me, confusion twisting her brows. She has no idea that her mother just demanded to fight a werewolf. Celine a gunner has no fear. Celine Uncle Mason starts. But the woman won't be censured. You know the rules. Zoe's mom jabs a finger toward mine. Time and place. Name them. Do you see this idiocy? Mom stares at Roderick, even as she waves toward Selena. This is what comes of wolves and humans associating. They think they know our ways, that they can be one of us. I could give a damn about being one of you. Selena hisses, but I sure as hell know I want to kick your ass. Especially the woman glares around at every single one of us, her eyes burning into mine last, since no one else is willing to protect my daughter from Rebecca's ridiculous vendetta. Shame spikes hard through me. Here I am, hoping to bring Zoe into my world, trying to convince her to be my mate, all while my own mother puts the woman I love in danger. Maybe her actions were born of some warped sense of protection, but that doesn't excuse them. No, Roderick's voice rings clear, cutting through the night. You are not a wolf. You cannot give challenge. A frustrated, strangled shriek comes out of Selena's throat. This is not how I wanted my first interaction with Zoe's mom to go. Suddenly, the woman stops struggling in Mason's hold. The switch in energy level is eerie, and I worry she hurt herself in some way. Selena stands still, and strangely, it almost looks as if Mason is embracing her, rather than restraining. I wonder if this is torture for him, to have the woman he loved in his arms, but to not really have her. Zoe, Selena says. My woman turns to face her mother, clearly struggling to understand what she's missing. Selena speaks in a steady voice, her gaze locked on her daughter's eyes. If you stay here, Rebecca will hurt you. I tighten my arms, realizing what's happening, Mom. Selena cuts her daughter off. They have different rules than humans. She thinks I wronged the pack. She thinks she deserves retribution. And unless someone makes her back down, she'll keep taking her anger out on you. The steady cadence of her voice cracks on that last word. My head shakes in denial as I pull Zoe into my chest. You'll never let anyone hurt her. She's mine to keep safe. Then I see my mother, standing rigid with her arms crossed, glaring at Zoe's mom, and I recognize the truth in the woman's words. Without a challenge, without a punishment, she'll be free to continue tormenting Zoe. Maybe she was telling the truth when she said she never meant to hurt her. But she did. She hurt the woman I love, and she could easily do it again. Are you saying I should leave? Zoe whispers the question, but everyone can hear it. Selena shuts her eyes, as if pained, reacting to the devastation in her daughter's words. And across the way, my mother smirks, as if everything she said about the gunner women was true. A red rage clouds my vision, and I turn my body, shielding Zoe from the toxic resentment. Then, shocking everyone in the alley, I let my furious growl tear from my throat, aiming a disgusted glare at my mother. The woman so bent on driving away what she views as dangerous that she would crush my happiness in the process, and she flinches from me, eyes wide in shock. But Zoe doesn't cringe away. Instead, she turns in my hold, wrapping her arms tightly around my waist. Her gentle hands stroke my back as she mutters soothing noises. Don't worry. I'm not leaving. I was just asking for clarification. My heart clenches, but I keep my sight fixed on my mother, weighing my options. Every day Zoe stays in Pine Falls will be a day her safety is at risk. I can't be with her every second to fight off subtle attacks or tricks. Even if I could, Zoe would hate it. The last thing she wants is an overprotective male shadowing every step she makes. The other option is, I could challenge my mother. Yet, even with anger raging through me, I can't envision laying a hand on the woman who raised me, who loves me, The idea makes me sick. Needing guidance. I look to Roderick. He stares back, likely reading the torment on my face. Then he drags his eyes over the gathering, finally landing on our mother. You do not accept Zoey. The woman who claims to love us beyond anything else stands taller under his gaze and nods. I will never accept her. She does not belong in our pack. She does not deserve it. Roderick doesn't betray a hint of emotion. He simply stares as if waiting to see if she has anything left to add. But she only gazes back with a level of arrogance that arrays me to the point I can't think of words. But I don't need to, because Roderick always knows what to say. Your pride is more important than your son's happiness. There's not a hint of emotion in his question, but she blanches as if he spat in her face. That's not she won't make him happy. Roderick shakes his head, as if disappointed with her. So am I. You always think your parents can do no wrong, but they aren't gods. They're humans. Or werewolves, I guess. Warner has declared his intention to pursue Zoey as his mate. She is under the protection of the pack. Hurting her cannot go unpunished. Roderick, no. Tanya steps forward. My normally opinionated sister has been quiet up to this moment, hanging back in the shadows with Isaac as they watched the drama of my life unfold. Now she's probably thinking that Roderick plans to challenge Mom himself, that she's about to witness a fight between her mother and her oldest brother. You don't have to punish her. Mom will apologize. She just didn't know Zoey was going to be pack. She didn't know Warner loved her. Right, Mom? Just tell them you're sorry. My heart breaks for my little sister as she stares pleadingly at our mother. But Rebecca Jameson is not stubborn. The muscle in her jaw stands rigid as she keeps quiet. Roderick was right. Her pride is more important than my happiness. She can't separate Zoey from Selena. And I have a choice to make. I thought the solution to all my problems was having Zoey stay in Pine Falls with me. That my life would be complete. Everything would be perfect. But that won't be the case with my mother here. The obvious option is my original plan, moving to Denver. But that still leaves my mother unpunished. It means never returning to Pine Falls again, because there is no way I would come back here without my mate. Still, I know that no matter how furious I am with my mother, I cannot fathom the idea of fighting her. My mind settles on the only option left. The idea of it eats away at me, makes me feel selfish. In that moment, Zoey tightens her arms around my waist, and I glance down at her. There's a bruise on her forehead, scratches on her face, all from her fall. But despite how those must hurt, she still gazes up at me with trust, with love, and I realize that I deserve to be selfish. My love for Zoey never hurt anyone, which means we're in the right. I glance toward my older brother, holding his eyes. Exile. Part 81. Zoey. Warner's bed is super comfortable, especially when lying face down on it. The comforter smells like him. Pine, needles, and fresh snow. I think if I were to be smothered to death, this is the best material to use to get the job done, to send me away from this world peacefully. Downstairs, the Jamesones are working out the details of exiling their mother, all because of me. The rational part of my brain reminds me that it's not technically my fault. I'm not the one that started this secret feud. It's not even like I demanded revenge when I found out Rebecca was behind my life's little miseries. And I certainly didn't ask for her to be exiled. But if I never came to this town, there would be no reason for Rebecca to leave it. I considered taking Warner up on his original offer of moving to Denver with me. Wouldn't that fix everything? We would be out of Pine Falls, and therefore safe from Rebecca's revenge. And she wouldn't have to leave her home and her children. But I don't want to go back to Denver. At least, not anytime soon. Pine Falls has a hold on me. I'm feeling a connection not only to the town, but also to Minnie's cabin. It's almost starting to feel like my cabin. If I leave now, this whole trip would seem unfinished. Plus, I can't help thinking that our relationship could use some time to develop with distance between us and my brothers. So it's selfish onto my list of faults. The apartment's front door opens. I should roll onto my back and ask Warner how things went. How he's doing. but I can't force myself to meet his understanding, loving gaze just yet. Not when I don't deserve it. Wow, when people call me dramatic. You're on the express train to Motown. Aren't you? A feminine voice says, and I start in surprise. The speaker isn't my mother. The one. I'd recognize her voice anywhere. And besides, she immediately calmed down once she was sure Rebecca would be punished for her treatment of me. Then she helped me up to Warner's apartment and promised to stick around Minnie's cabin until Warner brought me back. Curiosity has me flipping over. Tanya leans against the doorframe, her sharp eyes taking me in. She must despise me, even though she's 17, on the cusp of adulthood. That doesn't mean she doesn't need her mother. In breaking apart her family, the guilt eats at me. Tanya, I'm sorry. Really, this isn't what I wanted to happen. Warner's sister waves a hand, dismissing my words. I was there. I know. She pushes off from the wall and meanders around her brother's room, fiddling with his stuff but never picking anything up. Still, I'm pissed off. The girl raps her knuckles on the top of his dresser, the sound ringing so loud I wonder if Shess dented the wood. That's when I realize I'm alone with a werewolf who now probably has a vendetta against me. I should be scared, but Shess Warner's little sister. No matter if Shess 10 times stronger than I am. I don't want to alienate his entire family in one night, so I don't try to make a quick escape, deciding to wait for the berating Shess about to deliver, hopefully not served with a side of violence. Her golden eyes, a few shades lighter than her brother's, examine me, and she smiles in a way that is both humorous and sad. I'm not pissed at you. I like you. You're the first girl to snag one of my brothers, and he has gone on you. It's great. I'm worried that one of them is going to date a total bitch, and I'm going to have to pretend to get along with her. Tanya plops down on the bed, and it bounces. The mattress responds to her sudden added weight. But I'm the reason your mom is getting exiled. I remind her. Tanya stretches out beside me, and as we lay on the bed next to each other, I realize that despite her giant personality, I'm still a few inches taller than her. For a moment, I think Warner's sister has decided to ignore me as she fiddles with her phone. Then she holds the device high, tilting the screen so I can see. There's a photo pulled up. A selfie of Tanya as she presses a kiss to the cheek of a handsome boy who wears a rapturous expression. That's Carlos, my boyfriend. HES human. She lets her arm fall back to her side. Tanya is dating a human. I wonder if anyone in her family knows. As if hearing my question, she explains. Isaac knows. We all go to school together. He likes Carlos, but I haven't told anyone else. Warner wouldn't mind. Then I hesitate as I consider my words and decide to add on a caveat. I mean, he wouldn't mind any more than a brother usually would. My brothers have always made my dating life a struggle. That prom car ride pops back into my brain. In my peripheral vision, I watched Anya nod, and I wonder if she has her own list of occurrences. Maybe we could share stories one day. Yeah, Warner will probably be the next one I tell. Maybe Uncle Mason. But Roderick and my mom worry me. Roderick's life is the pack. And she has said multiple times that werewolf-human relationships complicate things. And then Mom, well, you saw. I nod, trying not to cringe. I don't want her to be exiled. I mean, I'm not worried about Isaac and me. We can take care of ourselves. Plus Roderick and Uncle Mason are pretty good surrogate dads. So it's not like him freaking out about that. I turn my head on Warner's pillow and catch the teenager biting her lip. My mom showing up today was a surprise. I'm getting by fine on my own. Injuries and all. But it's still nice having her around. I missed her. My offering is a quiet one. Tanya blinks, her eyes extra shiny. But then she sits up abruptly. I don't want her exiled. But she can't do what she did to you. The girl leaps off the bed and starts pacing. That was super messed up. Especially when you see the way Warner looks at you. What way? Part 80 to Zoe. Tanya smirks. Warner is friendly to everyone. This whole town. Even the human half loves him. You'd think he'd date more. Girls are always after Warner because he's the best kind of guy. The thought of girls being after my werewolf makes me want to growl possessive lie. Some of my jealousy must show on my face because Tanya points at me and gives a triumphant laugh. Look at you. You're all about him. He deserves that. And he's all about you. And he never has been before. All the girls walk away with smiles on their faces, but moping on the inside because Warner never wanted anything from them. But you hell he's ready to piss on your leg, he's so possessive. Her smile fades into an angry scowl that she directs at the window. And Mom was going to ruin it all. I wouldn't have let her. No matter what the wolf woman threw at me, I would have taken it. Because Warner is worth fighting for. But you shouldn't have to deal with her weirdness. And neither should Carlos. Or anyone I decide to date. Tanya collapses back beside me. You want to know why I'm not pissed at you? There it is. I want my brother to be happy. And I want to be happy. No matter who we choose to love. It's our choice. Not hers. I don't want her to be exiled, the girl repeats for the third time, but I think she needs to be. At least until she understands what she did wrong. Until she agrees not to torment the people we date. Tanya's logic chips away at the guilt I feel. As her declaration sinks in. I don't feel as horrible about the choices I've made. Our relationship has caused a rift in their family. But maybe with time that gash will heal. And it might shape the James Sinnes into something different. Something a little bit better. I'm glad you're not mad at me. We lie, side by side, until the door to the apartment creaks again. Zoey, Warner's voice carries back to me. We're in here. I call out, sitting up. Tanya following my levy. He asks, then appears a second later, eyes widening. What are you doing here? Tanya's spine goes rigid, and she glares at him, as if preparing for a battle. I'm dating a guy. She announces. His name is Carlos, and he's a human. Zoey said you wouldn't mind, and as the alpha in your relationship. What she says goes. Warner's eyes narrow, but I catch a twitch at the corner of his mouth. Carlos, huh? What does Isaac think of Carlos? Tanya plants her fists on her hips, and even sitting she gives off an air of defiance. He thinks Carlos is too nice for me, and that'll steamroll him. I hide a smile behind my hand, and Warner lets out a snort. Well, there are worse things than all that. There are, she agrees. Now is someone going to drive me to the bowling alley? I'm a good hour late for my date. Oh, it's a date you've been clamoring to get to. Just shut up and drive me. Tanya punches the bed. That's not very nice. Maybe I'd rather stay here in bed with Zoey than drive my whining sister to her date. The way he says in bed sends a shiver down my spine. Tanya also picks up on the underlying meaning, but she has a completely different reaction. With a gasp, she launches off the mattress. Haven't you? Gross. Don't answer. Now I have to go burn my skin off with acid. Warner grins wickedly, and I flip back over onto my stomach to hide the laughter threatening to burst out at her words. They'll give you a ride. Just go wait by my bike for a minute. I turn my head in time to see Anya roll her eyes and stalk out of the room. Then I have the full attention of a golden-eyed werewolf. Before he can open his mouth, I roll to my knees and open my arms wide. How are you doing? Warner gathers me up against him, burying his nose in my neck before answering. I'm sorry. If I start talking, I'm not sure when it'll stop. And you need to take care of your sister. I cup his face in my hands, pulling back enough to meet his eyes. Go, it'll be here. His fingers dig into my back, clutching me close. Promise you're not leaving. The vulnerability in his voice cuts at me. Here, reception. I climb off the bed. It'll give you some insurance. With efficient movements, I strip off every last piece of clothing I'm wearing. Only held up for a second when my shirt snags on my cast. I bundle them all together and hand them to an open-mouthed Warner. Can't leave the film without clothes. Can I? Plus, this way I know you'll hurry back. When heat flares in his eyes, I quickly slide under the covers and wave him away. Go on. A growl rumbles deep in his throat, and he leans over to plant a promising kiss to my mouth before storming out of the room, my bundle of clothes clutched tight to his chest like a lifeline. Part 83 Warner, but my hair. Put the helmet on now, or you're walking to the bowling alley. I do not have time for this. You were a lot more easygoing before, Zoe. Tanya mutters, delicately placing the spare helmet over her bouncy waves. I ponder my sister's words as I rev my bike to life. Was I more easygoing before Zoe moved to town and shook up my life? Probably, because before she got here, I had nothing to fight for, nothing to hurry home to. Not to mention, I had no reason to be on edge about my mom being exiled. I offered to help Roderick work out the details, but he flat out refused. Sometimes, being the pack leader is a shit job. He did tell me she won't be barred from communicating with us over the phone. That is, if any of us want to talk to her. I expect Tanya will, and possibly Isaac, but despite Roderick's stoic expression, I could tell how devastated he was that our mother pushed us to do this. I, of course, am furious with her, and I know it'll be a long time before I'm in the right headspace to have any kind of conversation with her. So by tomorrow morning, Pine Falls will be down one wolf. The bowling alley isn't far, but every hint of space that's put between me and Zoe has my wolf growing anxious. Tonight was rough on my protective instincts. Still, the knowledge that I have my woman's clothes bundled in my saddlebag gives me comfort. Assures me that she'll be waiting for me when I get back. When we pull into the cracked parking lot of aptly named 12 Lanes, I can hear the crack of heavy balls against pins mixed with laughter emanating from inside the building. Tanya dismounts and immediately rips off the helmet, as if the thing has been burning her the entire ride. I expect her to toss the headwear at me, then race inside. Instead, she clutches the helmet against her chest, ignoring my outstretched hand. Is Mom really getting exiled? My take, no. Shit sister looks suddenly vulnerable. I fight a grimace and nod. You understand why. Right. Yeah. The word comes out on a sigh. I can't believe she won't let it go. I mean, I can hold a grudge. Believe me, I still haven't gotten over the fact that Isaac cut the hair off all my Barbies when we were 8. But I'd get over it in a second if the other option meant giving up all of you. Jess not giving up on you. Mom's just going away for a little while. My sister snorts and finally lets the helmet go, handing it back to me before she turns toward the building. I feel guilty, and then angry because I, Schulten, have to feel this way. But I can't help thinking I'm the reason we're losing our mom. Then an image of Zoe flashes in my mind. Her without clothes body as she crawled under my covers just a little bit ago. Her pale skin, covered in bruises and stitched cuts from her fall. And my heart hardens toward my mother. Text me. I call out to my retreating sister, and she turns back to glance at me. When you're eat hon and need a ride home, just let me know. She waves away my offer. One of my friends will give me a lift, but before she can retreat again, I'm off my bike, crossing the worn blacktop, and sweeping her up into a bear hug. "No, sis," I murmur against her thick brown hair. "You let me know when, and I'll be here for you." Pushy. Much. The words are dismissive, but her tone is full of the same vulnerability from a moment ago. Then her arms wrap around my waist, and we stand still, hugging each other. After a minute passes, Tanya shoves me away, straightening her spine. "Stop being so clingy. People are going to think I need babying." She glares, but there's a glistening at the edge of her lashes. I give her my goofy-esque smile in return. "You kidding? Everyone knows I'm the baby in the family." She rolls her eyes even as her lips fight to smile. "Get out of here. I'll text you when I need a ride home." "Yes, Your Majesty." "Begone, lowly jester." She waves again, before skipping toward the lit-up entrance of the bowling alley. I watch her until she's out of sight, then climb back on my bike. When I get back to my apartment, I take the stairs two at a time, anxious to seize Zoey again. I wonder if she's fallen asleep in my bed. I won't wake her if she has, no matter how much I want to talk to her, to hear her say she loves me again. But there's time for that. If she's asleep, I'll curl my body around hers and keep her warm. When I enter my bedroom, I find Zoey propped up on my pillows, a crochet project in her lap. She has the blankets pulled up over her chest, or at least, it looks like they started that way. At this moment, one edge sags that I catch a hint of her rosy nipple. I get the urge to crawl on my knees to her, then bury my face in the valley of her breasts to breathe in her earthy, sweet scent and hear the delicate pounding of a heart she claims beats for me. Do you think your family will forgive me for what I've done to you all? Her question shocks me enough to leave off staring at the hint of her without clothes and search her eyes. What you've done. I tore open old wounds and now you're all suffering. Partady for Warner. Apparently, my sister isn't the only one feeling vulnerable after this evening's confrontation. I cross the room, sit on the edge of the bed just beside Zoey, and reach out to stroke her exposed shoulders. That's not on you. You didn't know about that drama, and it's not our drama. Zoey goes to open her mouth, and I can tell she still plans on shouldering the blame. The thought pisses me off, and I give a definitive shake of my head. No, don't play the martyr. You talk about opening wounds. It's been decades. A normal person would let the old hurts heal. My mom is the one who's been tearing things open. Jessica Fulton is too stubborn to admit it. No one in my family will blame you. We know who hurt who, and we know who is innocent in all of this. If I had never come, please. Zoey. Now my hands curl, clasping her, holding her in place. Please don't ever think life would be better if you hadn't come here. You don't know what it was like before. One of her eyebrows curves up. You make it sound like you are living in hell. Not hell. I run my nose through her hair, filling my lungs with the scent that tells me she is meant to be mine. More like purgatory. I was lingering in a line, restless, without a direction. Am not that much. Warner, you can't think I mean that much. Her voice cracks. You do. Though, this may sound selfish, but I've always wanted someone who needed me, and who I needed. I can live on my own, exist on my own, but I don't like it. You're my someone. Zoey, I need you. She stares into my eyes, not shying away from the intensity in my gaze. I came to Pine Falls because I felt smothered by my brother's love. I try not to wince. Imagining my desperate declaration reminds her of their rabid displays of affection. Then I came here and learned about my grandmother. After that, I worried that without their love it'd curl into myself, that it'd fade into some kind of ghost person. My mouth is open to deny it, but she shakes her head. I keep quiet, letting her finish. You don't smother me. Your love isn't a weight I have to fight off to keep from crushing me. Your love is like, she trails off, brow wrinkled in thought. Your love is a strong hand on a ladder. Zoey smiles, huge and bright, happy with the comparison. What's that mean exactly? I ask, not without a trace of humor. You hold me steady, but you still let me climb to whatever height I'm trying to reach. She explains, as if it's the clearest thing in the world. And once she says it, it is. Emotions crash through me, threatening to drown my head in my heart, needing a brief reprieve from the onslaught. I drop my hands between us and finger the craft in her lap. What are you working on? I'm crocheting you an apology hat, to go with your scarf. Damn, she won't let up. In a fit of self-preservation, I grasp for a joke. You seem bent on me keeping my head covered. Wear a helmet. You say, I'm making you a hat. You say. I put on a high-pitched voice, making a complete mockery of her normal smooth, sultry tone. Zoey laughs. You caught me. I'm obsessed with keeping this head safe and warm. She sets her project to the side and cups my cheeks with her hands. The hard plaster of the cast is rough against my skin, just as the bare palm of her other hand is soft. She shifts, raising on her knees so she can press a kiss to the center of my forehead. Mainly because I love the brain that's rattling around in it. The words dig into my heart. Ruthless, loving claws. With her movement, the blankets fall away, and am confronted with her bare chest and stomach and the teasing triangle of curls at the center of her. The sight has me groaning, even though I want to crush her to my chest. Am wary of her battered body. Instead, I circle my arms around her in a gentle embrace, lowering her to the bed. She spreads out beneath me, muscles relaxed, and gifts me with a gorgeous smile. I hunger for her mouth and take it with the passion I want to show the rest of her. For now, though, I keep my fervor to the meeting of our lips. Zoey gasps and moans, her fingers raking down the front of my shirt, fumbling with buttons until she has the fabric parted and can get at my skin. Her nails dig into me, as if she plans to scratch and tear until I'm covered in her marks. Do it. Be rough with me. I beg against her mouth. She doesn't hesitate. Her hands dive under my shirt. Her fingers clutch my back, and I groan at the delicious bite of her nails along my spine. My love doesn't break skin, but I long for a mirror so I can admire what must be a nice set of red marks scored into me. Then she has my belt in her grasp, and doing the buckle. Next thing I know, my pants are unzipped and being shoved down, and that soft grasp is gripping my hard length. I pry my lips from hers, rising up enough to tell her something like, "We don't have to. You're hurt." But she's faster than I am. "I love you." Zoey doesn't whisper, I'll let the words down on a light gasp. She declares them with utter and complete confidence. "Do you love me? More than anything?" I growl in response. She nods, a confident smile plumping her cheeks as her uninjured leg slings around my waist. A very demanding heel presses into one of my ass cheeks, urging me forward. "Are you going to show me how much?" The crown of me presses against her slickness, and my eyes threaten to roll back in my head. But that would mean I'd have to stop staring down at her, and I can't give up this view. "You're perfect." A red flush seeps into her cheeks, but she doesn't deny my words. "For you, yes." Both my human half and wolf half are in complete agreement, howling together in triumph. For me, Part 85's Zoey, but who is going to get us our beers? Byron. I love you, but you need to grow some ovaries. The phrase is, grow some balls. Donovan argues, ovaries are tough. I point out, balls are sensitive. If I aimed a kick between your legs, what would you do? Unconsciously, my brother guards his privates with both his hands, as if he thinks I'm going to enact the hypothetical situation. Point proven. Exactly. Balls make you weak. Grow some ovaries. Apologize to the girl. And stop dating people at your favorite hangout spots. Byron grumbles while Donovan watches me with wary eyes, still trying to figure out if my question was rhetorical or not. The 4 Gunner boys are gathered in the driveway, putting off their departure with an endless list of excuses, some more valid than others. There's no cell signal here. No Wi-Fi. Carver holds his phone up to the sky as if an extra foot of height might change things. I'm going to fix that. Warner CLONPS down from the front porch, stepping over and napping Bruce on his way. My man looks delicious in his work boots and worn jeans. HES left his leathers off today, in work mode. When I decided to stay in Pine Falls, my mom announced she was signing the cabin over to me. An early Christmas present, and birthday present, and next Christmas, too. She left the day after the confrontation with Rebecca, needing to get back to her job. My brothers also have jobs, but they've dragged their feet an extra day, as if that's all that's needed to get me to return to Denver with them. Their efforts are futile, since I'm officially staying. A few upgrades need to be made to Minnie's place, my place, and my werewolf is all too happy to help. Despite their whining, Carver, Byron, and Donovan seem to have warmed up to my boyfriend, reaching out to give him farewell backslaps and one-armed hugs. Abram's arms stay crossed, and his face remains blank. That is until the crunch of tires on the driveway and the hood of a familiar truck appears. The yellow vehicle has my oldest brother scowling. The building crew has arrived. Courtney shouts from the driver's seat as Tanya leans out the shotgun window, gaping at my brothers. Oh my God. Is this what men look like in Denver? Warner's sister asks at full volume. Carver grins, while Byron and Donovan shift in discomfort. Good. Maybe the besotted teenager will finally get them to go before they collectively lose their jobs. You need to get out in the world, girl. Courtney climbs out and saunters our little gathering. Did I miss the glitter wrestling? If it's possible. Abram's frown gets deeper. He is not a Courtney fan. Too bad, because she's one of my new best friends. Why are you here? He asks, and I slap his arm for the rude tone he uses. Courtney just smirks and flicks one of his bulging biceps before strolling to the bed of her truck and gesturing at an abundance of wood. Building crew. Like I said. How much do you bench? Tanya asks Donovan, staring up at my brother with sparkling eyes. He shifts uncomfortably, glancing my way for a rescue. Around to 50, I guess. Really? That's it. Hell. I can do to 50, she says, disappointment clear in her tone. Carver coughs out a laugh as Donovan's face goes red. The two women start unloading the wood on their own. My brother's watching with wide eyes. Warner moves to join them, leaving me alone with my family. Are they building a new treehouse? Donovan asks. The treehouse. Abram points at me with an almost accusing finger. That still doesn't make sense. I told you. I try keeping my voice casual. It was all a misunderstanding. Warner's mom thought I wanted to take the thing down, and she thought she was helping me out by starting on it. She had no idea I still climbed up in the thing. Lies. I hate lying to my brothers. But this thing between me and Warner is still new. If it doesn't work out, I can't guarantee they wouldn't use the knowledge of his family trouble to enact some intricate form of revenge. Also, the amount of explaining necessary to get them to believe in the supernatural gives me a phantom headache. Did she at least apologize? Abram glowers in the direction of town. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice the stiffness in Warner's shoulders and sad cast to Tanya's face. Apparently, werewolves have better than normal hearing. Of course, more lies. Need to get off this topic. We're not building a treehouse. Courtney shouts before disappearing around the side of the cabin, leaving us all in suspense. When she returns, it's to the full attention of her audience, fist slanted on her hips. She announces, we're building a chicken coop. Queen Omelette has been wondering when she can come home. Oh God, you're actually going to raise chickens. Byron stares at me in horror. The idea gives me a wonderful sense of grounding. Yeah, I'm going to raise chickens. I catch Warner's eye as he FTS a load of wood onto the shoulder. The happy grin he wears is like a hug straight to the heart. Poor birds. They're going to have to deal with a wolf in their henhouse. Part I teases Zoe 6 months later. I trot down the steps of my front porch, heading toward Warner. IGS got on his dark Moon Rider's vest and the helmet with the snarling wolf I painted for him all those months ago. My man wears it with pride. In fact, a handful of other dark Moon Riders had asked me to paint theirs. My secret plot to keep all their heads safe is working. Hop on. It's time for us to ride off into the sunset. Leave all our worldly possessions behind and live life as true road warriors. Warner holds my helmet out to me as he gifts me with a teasing grin. If you start calling me your old lady, I'm going to stab you in the leg. I inform him as I settle on the back of his bike, with a crochet hook. Those things are blunt, which means it'll hurt more. I love it when you get violent. He growls through a grin and pulls me in for a hard kiss. But we have somewhere to be. So once I'm panting, he lets me go with a wicked grin. Soon we're out on the highway, roaring down the deserted stretch between Grandma Minnie's cabin and the rabbit hole. Not Grandma Minnie's anymore. Mine. Ours. Warner moved in with me after a month. He was spending the night every night at my place anyway, and living over his mother's shop was depressing him. I've met some stubborn people in my life, but Rebecca Jameson puts every one of them to shame. 6 months with no word from her. Well, no word to the pack, or to our older two children. Tanya lets us know that she's alive. And checking in. Thoughts of Rebecca leave my insides feeling twisted and confused. Part of me is grateful to her for raising such a wonderful man. Part of me is pissed at her for hurting him now with her silence. Part of me feels sorry for her for losing her pack. Part of me feels guilty about being the catalyst for her lashing out. Maybe I should be furious with her for the danger she put me in. But I think I understand her fear of me. I did almost leave Warner, and for no other reason than I was confused over what I wanted in life. But my mind is clear now, and Im's still here. The bar comes into view up ahead, and my pulse quickens in anticipation. Tonight, I officially meet my werewolf. 99% of me is choosing to take this step because I love Warner and want to spend forever with him. But there's that tiny 1% that is hoping word somehow reaches Rebecca. I wait until the motor cuts off and the kickstand is down before dismounting. Do you have everything? Warner asks as I rummage in his saddlebags. I think so. Not like I'd know if I'm missing something. Roderick decreed that the mating ceremony ritual needed to be kept under wraps because we decided to wait a bit before going through with it. So I'm in the dark. Did you bring the food? Warner asks. My hands pause. You mean the snacks? Not exactly. I mean the ceremonial food. What? I clutch at the Ziploc bag I packed. I thought you meant something to eat afterwards. While we're drinking. I did not bring ceremonial food. Dating a werewolf, I've gotten in the habit of carrying snacks because Warner is always hungry, and he gets over the top happy when I give him food, or gift it to him as he says. When he asked me to bring food, I thought he just meant more of my usual. Warner smiles as he asks, what did you bring? Nothing. I brought absolutely nothing. And we have to go back to the cabin so I can make something special. Something ceremony-worthy. I'm already Ray, strapping the helmet on my head. But Warner steps in close, grabbing my hands. There's a mischievous still to his too tempting lips. Nope. Then we'll be late. Besides, I want to know what snack you brought for us to share. I glare up at him, when really, I want to scowl at myself. How could I be so oblivious? This is a mating ceremony. Of course. It requires special things, like delicious dishes. This isn't a night out with the suspense gang, or playing pool with the pack. This is a werewolf wedding. And I brought no. I refuse. Mating you deserves a 5-tiered cake. Warner leans in, rubbing his nose over mine. Tell me. I can't. Your a souffle. Or caramel apple pie. Those do sound good. But I want to know what you brought. Feeling like the guilty party on a witness stand. I do my best to mutter my answer so low even his wolf ears can't pick up on the word. Nope. Didn't catch that. His arms twine around my waist, and he leans down to nip at my neck. Tell your mate what you brought. I groan, my forehead dropping to his shoulder. Goldfish crackers. Part 87 Zoe. Warner's body goes rigid for a moment, and I'm sure I've found a way to offend the most able man on earth. Then all the tension spills out of him with roaring laughter. He tilts his head back, letting the joyous sound fill the night air, and I'm caught between a scowl and a smile. Next thing I know, I'm in his arms, lifted high and whirled about. Goldfish crackers. You are the perfect woman. Zoe Gunner. Warner shouts this out, and I'm betting everyone in the bar could hear him. And you're too forgiving. I scold him. Please let me go make you something better. My desperate fingers tangle in his silky hair, but he just lets a happy growl as I tug at the roots. No, our ceremony will have goldfish crackers. It's settled. Besides, he gently sets me down on my feet. I can't wait another minute to be officially mated to you. I'll eat dirt if it means I can finally call you mine. Goldfish aren't dirt. I mutter. Warner grins before pressing a kiss to my forehead and pulling me toward the rabbit hole. Unlike the first time I stepped through the entrance of the werewolf bar, This night lively voices fill every inch of the place. They're here. Courtney pushes through the crowd wearing a glittery yellow top that sparkles like gold in the dim lighting. All heads turn our way and celebratory greetings get shouted as Warner waves a hello. To the woods, Courtney shouts, marching toward a back door. Roderick meets our stares across the room, and I pick up a grimace on his face in response to my friend's high-handed ways. But Warner and I grin at each other and follow after her, melting into the group of wolves exiting the bar. Even though winter has loosened its grip, the nights still get cold. Warner loops his arm around my shoulders, pulling me close to his warm body. Perfect. Soon we're in a small clearing, the space lit by an almost full moon. 2 nights from now, the pack will go on a long ride, and then a long run. I always miss Warner when HE's away. I wonder how it will feel once this bond is solidified between us. Will I ache less? Or more? Doesn't matter. I still want to claim every inch of him. A crowd forms a circle around us. The whole pack has gathered. There has to be close to 100. And knowing that they're all here to watch this mysterious mating ceremony between Warner and me has me wanting to hide behind my wolf. But that's the problem with circles. There's no behind when you're in the middle. Zoey, Warner's soothing tone brings my attention to him. We don't have to do this tonight. Not if you aren't ready. HES misinterpreted my nerves. I want this. I just didn't realize would be stared at. I murmur, even though the other wolves can probably still hear me fine. He grimaces. Sorry, but that's the deal. You're joining the pack. So the pack wants to see you. Just remember his warm hands cut my face, tilting me up so I can only see him. They're all happy for us. For this, the pack gaining a new member is always celebrated. But I'm a human. You're mine. He growls. And soon, you'll be theirs. He nods his head toward the gathered wolves. All of them will respect you, protect you. I can't blame them. I thought moving to Pine Falls meant leaving a big family behind. Apparently, I'm being adopted. And this time, when I trace my eyes over the crowd, I notice the smiles and the encouraging nods. I see laughing conversations between different members, and realize that I'm the only tense one in this group. Everyone else is here for a celebration. After a long exhale, I give Warner a confident smile. All right. Let's make this official. Roderick wades through the trees and wolves, joining us in the clearing. He raises his hand, and the murmuring crowd falls silent. Our brother Wolf has brought a woman to us and wishes to mate. Roderick's voice sounds especially deep, as if HES calling to something. He stalks around the circle, and with each step an electric sensation builds in the air. Is this magic? He halts beside us. What do you offer? Shit. Was I supposed to bring an offering too? I'm going to kick Warner's ass when this is done for not giving me a better outline, as if hearing my thoughts. My wolf grins down at me. He needs the food. Courtney, did you bring it? Of course. I did. The raven-haired woman steps forward, pulling her purse off her shoulder. Only when she unzips it do I realize it's not a purse at all, but a small fashionable lunchbox. This is a good batch. Warner reaches out to accept a paper-wrapped item. When he peels the layers back, I see a soft white substance. Is that? Warner nods, wearing a self-satisfied smile. Goat cheese. My preferred cheese. You figured it out. He steals a quick kiss. We've lived together for months. Give me some credit. You get all the credit. Warner straightens and takes on a tone as deep as his brother's. I will nourish my mate. As she takes from me, I give to her willingly. He holds out his fingers, offering the soft cheese and nodding in encouragement until I understand him meant to eat it from his hand. The tartness is delicious, especially as I lick it off his thumb. Black seeps into Warner's eyes as they lock on my mouth. What do you offer? Roderick's heavy gaze redirects toward me. I follow Warner's lead. I will nourish my mate. As he takes from me, I give to him willingly. A ridiculously hot blush covers every inch of me when I pull a Ziploc bag from my jacket pocket and offer Warner a goldfish. His grin is delighted as he leans forward to snap the cheesy cracker from my hand, munching away happily. How will you live? Another question from Roderick, who has turned back to his brother. I listen for the words he'll need to repeat back, but instead of responding right away, Warner hooks his thumbs in his shirt and pulls the thing off, leaving him bare-chested. We're getting without clothes, I mutter, clutching at the edge of my denim coat, wavering between affront and following suit. Warner's smile is apologetic, just a little, like, we're going to the beach but are still keeping our pants on without clothes. You're lucky I love you, I mutter, letting my jacket slide off my shoulders and tossing it to the side. Shirt and bra. He steps close, hands on my waist and pressing a fortifying kiss to my forehead. You only need to unbutton until I can see your skin here. His knuckle brushes the spot just over my heart, causing me to shiver. I follow his direction, undoing buttons halfway down my front until my soft flannel falls open. We will live as one, connected always. Her life, my life. Her blood, my blood, Warner announces. Then he leans down, pausing to whisper against my ear. A small cut. Is that okay? He meets my eyes, and I nod. I'm down for all of this. If mating Warner means fucking him in front of all these people, I wouldn't have been happy about it. But I'd do it. A cut is nothing. His lips brush my exposed skin, just where the curve of my breast begins. A gasp escapes at the sting. He bit me. As Warner straightens, I notice a small red drop on the bottom of his lip. I have to bite you, I ask in shock, realizing it's my turn. Or scratch me, whatever way you think you can draw blood. But it needs to be by your hand. Your own will. No wonder you didn't give me a rundown beforehand. I grumble. Warner smiles, but I spy a flicker of worry in his golden eyes. His fingers circle my wrist, tugging me close and lifting my hand until it lays flat on his bare chest, right over his heart. Imagine my love for you exists here, right underneath my skin. You just need to get to it, and then it's yours, forever. Warner is using his tempting tone, as if he needs to convince me to do this, because he's not sure I will. The doubt spurs me on. I'll show him. I'll do whatever I need to convince Warner I want him forever. Which is better? Sorry, nails or teeth? I stare into his eyes, determined and haunted. Which is better? His expression goes slack with vulnerability. Then a fiery need scorches through his suddenly black gaze. He leans down, lips against my ear, breath hot as he whispers to me, I want your mouth. Use your teeth. I nod, wrapping my arms around his waist, pulling us flush, and pressing my mouth to the taut skin over his heart, kissing him just as he had kissed me. Then, with my puny human teeth, I bite him. The second I feel the skin give, I release my terrier hold and swipe my hand over my mouth. That's not sanitary, I announce, holding on to my prim tone as Warner beams down at me. He has my teeth marks in his skin, and he's clearly overjoyed by the fact. Warner's hands cup my cheek, thumbs tracing over the curves of my face. Will you say the words? Oh yeah. I clear my throat and recall the few short sentences. We will live as one. Connected always. His life. My life. My blood. It is so. With Roderick Hess' words. A crack splits the air, and I gasp at the sensation of a hook catching under my ribcage. The crowd cheers, and I swear I can feel their individual jubilation inside, as if I am connected to them all. Warner gathers me in his arms, holding me close. You are a pack. You belong to us now. Family. Can't seem to escape it. Not that I want to. I guess you were wrong. Warner pulls back enough to stare down at me with his amber eyes. About what? My fingers snake into his hair, letting the curls wrap around my fingers. You said you didn't think it'd be up for the initiation process. For a second he looks baffled. Then his expression transforms into delighted humor, no doubt remembering the first words he ever spoke to me, all those months ago. And what do you think? Is this club better than Sip and Spend So? Sip and Stitch. I correct automatically. And it has its perks. Warner grins, as his one hand reaches down to cut my ass. And those perks are forgetting about the celebrating pack with their eyes on us. I hitch my legs around Warner's waist and pull his mouth to mine, just before our lips touch. I speak a single word, filling it with all the love in my little human heart. The end. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode of the story, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to get notifications for updates.